How you doing today? My name is Adrian. I'm with Reach. That's Real Estate Alliance Connection Hub. And today I have a special guest, Alicia. She's with Bliss Home Realty and Relocation Group. How you doing today?
I'm doing great.
Perfect,
Thanks.
perfect. So, so today we're just going to ask a couple questions and talk a little bit about the buying process.
Yep.
For the most part, like some steps that or some advice you can give people.
Okay. Awesome. No, definitely. You always want to start with finding a lender. It really will solidify you finding a home and not going out there and searching for something that you cannot afford and getting your hopes and dreams up. Unfortunately, I've seen it happen a lot where someone, moves to a new area, goes to search, and sees this gorgeous home. And before they even talk to a lender, do anything, they're like, I want to go see it. They get so excited,
Doesn't everybody like that? Like they
Yeah.
see their dream home and they're just like, oh man, like this what is it, like double stairways, what's that movie called? Dang it, I should know this one so much. Scarface, right?
Scarface.
Yeah.
The typical Scarface home. Yes. They're all over El Paso. No, no, it's really important to do it. And you don't want to go out and searching for a home and then get discouraged if you cannot afford that home. So starting with a lender, there's an amazing list of lenders. Even Gepar recommends some, but I even have an amazing list of lenders I've worked with for a long time. And starting there, getting pre-qualified, and then from there you can go searching for homes.
Awesome. So, any obstacles or anything that you've seen your clients have to jump through that you're able to help them out with, specific lenders that you recommend?
Mm-hmm. A big thing that I have encountered a few times is I've had clients come and get declined a pre-qual. And they maybe went with the lender that they found online. They went with the lender that was recommended from A, B, and C. The lender is not always the issue, but yes, it is finding someone who's really going to work with what you have going on. And I've had people who have been disqualified for one reason or another, but another lender will take over that and qualify them. I had a very specific client of mine that love and adore, and she went through so much in her life, and she went to go qualify, and then we ended up looking for like new build homes, and this lender that we spoke to pretty much said no, it's not going to happen. It's just not, it's not in the price range. It's not going to happen. We should try again later when she can afford it better. And I was like, that's no,
Right.
Let's get another opinion.
Right.
Ended up going with another lender, and lo and behold, she qualified for a significant amount more, and she was able to work the numbers for her. She ended up getting in a new build, but even with the percentages that new builds offer, there's so many things you could do that fluctuate that price and make it work in what they need. What I mean?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think people can get the false, idea that they're, false sense of hope that they're not able to qualify, that they cannot buy, and not knowing that maybe if they just go ahead and get another opinion or actually go somewhere else, that they can qualify for that dream home that they wanted, or, and I think like you're hitting it right on, the nail with the hammer there, that that's one of the most important steps, because that's, from what I understand, talking with plenty of realtors and being a home buyer myself, that you're going to be stuck paying that. I mean, you want someone that's going to work for you. And for someone just to say just no flat out and don't really try, you wouldn't want them as your lender anyway. You want someone that's going to really try to provide and do everything on your behalf.
Give them
because
the best.
that's
Absolutely.
definitely.
And especially with like rates, anything like that. If you want it to work in your monthly budget, like find a lender who's going to work for you and give you everything that you need and make it fit. And everything that you need at that point. Just you need to find someone who's on your team and isn't there just to sign the papers.
Right. Yeah, just to collect the check and be like, hey,
Yeah.
So from there, what is the next process or step that you would find more important next?
After getting pre-qualified?
Yes.
So from there, really, it's just searching for the home. I have access to the entire MLS, what's available on the market, as well as I'm really close with a bunch of builders reps for new builds. And it's just starting there. What area do you want to live in? How many bedrooms do you want? It's every little detail. Do you want a garage? How big of a backyard do you want? And I can narrow it down and find exactly what you need.
Perfect,
So,
perfect. And I guess just hearing some rumors or things in just kind of around out there, um, you're not going to, for the most part, I mean, you're out looking out for your potential clients or your clients that you're working with. There's not really anything that's going to keep you from actually showing a specific house. Because I have heard where some clients feel that they're being kind of like led to certain houses that kind of, steering that they kind of make their qualifications. But I think at one point, maybe I think there's something going on now about like the whole split commission, or hey, they get, the buyer's agent gets a certain percentage. So maybe if that percentage is higher for this specific house versus this other house, now they're steered to that. Like, what are your thoughts on that? Like, what do you see?
Personally, that's not a good agent.
Yeah, right.
I'm going to say it blunt and out there. Why? You're there for the people.
Yeah.
You're there to be a part of a process, the biggest purchase of somebody's life. Why are you going to take advantage of them?
Right.
I'm sorry, but I've heard a lot about it, and it's not right. It's never going to be right.
Gotcha.
You go to the homes that your client wants to see. You send them everything that's available, and they pick and choose. It's not up to you.
Yeah, perfect. So. You're just they're the, what do you say? Just help them along the way, right?
Yeah, I'm here to assist you.
Yeah. So, and then from there, once they found like a house, like obviously you're gonna be putting in the offer. Like, do you have any specific things that maybe you look at or go over with them to help make sure that they're, not paying anything more than they should? Or
I mean, really, a listing's gonna explain the gist of what's all there and available. If it's an older home, I'm going to look out for big things. I'm going to look when we do walkthroughs at the roof. I'm going to look at the walls. I'm going to look at anything visible to the eye. I'm not an inspector, so I'm not able to go through and give my opinion on that. Right. But everything visible that I can see, I 100% always recommend an inspector to come through, because you need to know what's going on the walls and the roof.
Definitely.
But really,
it's okay. No, but I guess what you were, what I'm getting from you is that you're looking out the best interest for the client. Even though you're not the inspector, you've mentioned that you have vendors that you trust, that you can definitely recommend. And maybe you are not able to be the one to really say, hey, this is what's going on, but you have the trust built in with the vendors you've had built relationships with.
Absolutely.
That they'll tell you, hey, you know what, this one might not. This is what's going on. Mm-hmm. And I think that's right. Like, you leave it up to the buyer, right? Yeah. They'll decide, and maybe you could use some of that, in a sense, as negotiating power, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, I bought a house that had termites. Yeah. But in the field that I work, I know I can take care of that. Pest control. That situation, absolutely. Yeah. So definitely. I mean, you don't. I guess, like you're saying, you leave it up to the buyer, but you're going to do everything to the best of your ability.
Best advice as well. I mean, if I know they're going to go into a home that's going to be a huge financial commitment, on top of it with repairs or anything like that, I'm going to be like, listen, this is a potential. Yes, I'm not the inspector. Yes, I'm not the appraiser. Yes, I'm not the person to give the best advice for amounts. But if I see something significant, I'm going to bring it to their attention, because you don't want to get into something that, especially you sign the papers and then this massive repair comes out of nowhere and you just paid a fortune for something.
All right. So,
a big thing too, when I'm going in with homes and they want to put an offer on something, I'm calling the other agent, asking, what's the interest on this home? Is it competitive? We kind of gauge our offer from there as well. But it is what works best for the client.
So. With that in mind, like, you mentioning that you're doing that, do you ever let the clients know that you're doing that? Like you're that way they can kind of hear or see like everything you're doing behind the scenes?
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I'm very open and vocal about what I do through my whole process. And I am there to let them know, this is why I'm doing this, and we should do this because of this. And the choices that I'm doing behind the scenes, I keep them in the loop. Awesome. And they're right there with me the whole time. So
definitely. Yeah. Communication, I think, is the biggest thing, because if you're doing those things and then you find something and you let them know, maybe that might not be the house that I want to go with again, or maybe again, kind of vice versa. Mm-hmm. You might think they might not want to go for it, but you allow them to choose. So
absolutely.
Yeah, I've dealt with some realtors before, and when I remember that they're trying to get one house sold, and I was just like, well, they just have this issue And I was like, and I just wondered in my back of the head, like, why is this house keep being pushed on me? Like,
Yeah.
and I was like,
there's some
I don't
reason
know.
for
Like,
it.
and not to say that there was, but now that I had that in my mind, I couldn't shake it.
Yeah.
You know, so definitely just like communication, all that. I think everyone can appreciate that, and you know. So with that being said, well, let me ask you, any last words or thoughts that maybe, or how people can get in touch with you to, you know, if they're looking to list their house or if they're looking to buy a house, where they can go?
Yeah, absolutely. Not only do I have a website, and I can send that link in here, but getting a hold of me through phone, text, email, I'm available. I'm really a phone call away. So, yeah.
Cool. Awesome.
Absolutely.
Thank you again
Yeah,
for
of
having
course.
you
Thank
on the
you.
Reach. Yeah, I mean,
Appreciate it.
yeah, well, I appreciate it again, and I'm sure they're going to appreciate that. You have some nice advice that you're able to put on there for people looking to buy or looking to list their home. So, again, we appreciate you again for joining us today on Reach on the podcast here. That's the Real Estate Alliance Connection Hub. And until next time, thank you.